Hello, my name is Socked, and welcome to the first video in my Let's Play series. So, in this Let's Play series, we're actually going to be doing a few things. We're going to be building a town in the hardest possible settings in the Banished game. So, we're using a small map, we're using mountainous terrain, we're using that harsh climate with disasters and the hard starting conditions. It's gonna be a real challenge. I don't know what map seed I'm getting. I've chosen to call my town Socktown. I did that before I started the video, but I'm sure you guys will forgive me. And we're going to be using this seed. So that seed's there for any of you guys who want to try and replicate my efforts, and if you're trying to do that yourself. Now I have actually already achieved the Mountain Man achievement on my account. So this is more for you guys' benefit than for my own, but just so I can try to show you how you can actually get that achievement fairly reliably in one of these maps. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna launch in, and we're gonna get started, and we're gonna see what our little people are doing and what kind of map we've got. So that is really the hugely important part about these small mountainous maps, and that really hugely important part is the seed you've been given. So you need a seed which has room to actually put your foresters and to put all of the things you need to succeed. So this seed isn't too bad. I've seen better seeds for the small mountain maps, but this one, it'll suit our purposes. Without a hint of a lie, it's not great, but very few of these small mountainous maps are that good. It's just simply the way of them. So the first thing we're doing is we're looking for somewhere where we can put a forest node. So you're going to ask me, or someone of you at least, is what is a forest node? So your forest node is basically a small collection of buildings, including a forester's lodge, a gatherer's hut, where do you end up going? And your big hunting cabin. So these three buildings here are very useful because they provide 4 different varieties of food, they provide leather, and they provide logs. Now you can also actually place in, which I will for this node because I like to have one, a herbalist. So your herbalist provides medicine. So these buildings will keep you a healthy population with good food variety and lots of logs for future expansion. So that's nice. Those are all things that we do want in our village. So I'm actually going to go through and pause all of these. But I don't want them built yet, but I do want to know where they're going. And I'm actually going to pick their gatherer's hut and forester's lodge. I'm going to pin them up in the corner because I want to see where they are. Because this is now that I know what I'm not clearing out, what I am clearing out, etc. I mean, yeah, when I'm playing my game, I don't want to be messing things up too badly. Yeah. Anyway, so usually when I start, before I'm unpaused, I want to make sure that I've got a rough idea of where everything's going. So this does take a little while. This first step. I'm not gonna glory things up, but it will save us time in the long run, and that's good. We want to save time. That's actually, I'm going to want to place maybe over here and up here my next forester nodes. I want several forester nodes. So it's, yeah, there will do. So a couple houses, somewhere for my little peoples to live. It's always nice. They get upset when they don't have houses and it's cold. I've got no idea why. It's one of those things, I guess. I'll actually place you there so I can build a storage barn. I'm not going to actually build a storage barn. Not for quite a while, at least. But I do want to have the storage barn. Yeah, because this is overlapping on their area a bit, but it's useful because it's near their houses, it's near where they're going to be dropping it off, so that's good. We don't want the storage barn, but we know where it will be. And that's great. I like to know where my storage barn is, because that is one of the most important buildings when you're planning out your towns. So when you're planning out your towns, what you want to be working out is you want to be working out where your villagers are working, where they're living, and where they're dropping off resources and getting resources. So that's where the things are. So they're all going to be working and living and doing all those things in roughly this little area. So that's good. We don't want them going too much further than that. Otherwise they're going to be inefficient. And inefficient villagers is one of the quickest killers of a town, especially when you're trying to optimize space as much as you possibly can. And we're also actually going to drop just north of here is this. We're going to drop a little stockpile because you actually 10 by 2. It's a funny shape, but it works. So that's going to be where your villagers drop all the materials I'm about to tell them to gather. So on that note, let's actually tell them what to gather. So let's start off. We'll grab all that stone because we're gonna. Notice I actually ordered stone houses. Now normally I like to start with stone. A lot of people don't like starting with stone, but for me personally, stone's the way to go. It really is. Just because when you've got that small maps, you want to be building in stone, so you're wasting less resources and less time and less building space on trying to heat the really inefficient wooden housing. So we'll do that. I'm gonna place another little temporary storage up here, so that I have in case it gets to overflow. I'm gonna unpause and I'm gonna let my villagers go get to work. Now everything's planned out now, so really I can let them run wild. Yeah, I might slow it down a bit because we don't want to sort of explain some things to you. They're gonna go off and they're gonna gather up all that stone I told them to. I'll also give them a little bit of wood because I'll need some wood for my houses and my gatherer in particular. And I'll need some iron, so that clump of iron will have to do, because it's the only clump of iron I can see near my spawn. Ooh, that clump of iron is actually going to be better. But, yeah, so I might, now that I've got them all going, everything's really working, we'll allocate in, I'll get my UI up, should have got that done a whole lot sooner, but it is what it is. This is actually a fairly good start, because when you spawn your game, it gives you 4 different families, which means you'll always have 8 adults here. But what is randomized is the number of children. So I've had starts with 0 children, I've had starts with 8 to 10 children. So you want as few children as possible at the start in a small map like this, because, especially the harder maps, because then they're eating less food. Because with children, they'll eat food. You don't want many children at the start, because then you need to build more houses for them sooner, and you need to get more food for them sooner. And those aren't things you want. You really don't want to be having to feed a small army of useless citizens at this stage. You want them later on, but not right at the start. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to unpause our gatherer. We want to start getting a bit of food flowing, even though we do have a lot of food at the moment. And we're going to unpause the first of our 4 houses. So that's a pretty simple game mechanic. For each family you need a house, and each family is 2 adults, so I have 8 adults means 4 families. So I can pick one house for each of my different families here, which shouldn't prove too tricky. And as you can tell, I'm getting in a lot of stone here because I've ordered all of those massive stone deposits. So that's great. It's really good to see. You've got the stone just flowing in like that. I'll assign a builder to get that. I'll assign a couple actually to get that building up. And for my gatherers, they're just going to keep bringing in the resources. Look at them go! Like these little guys, they're just gathering up all the things I need. It's wonderful. And it's only late spring, and I've already got my gatherer. He's all got his resources. I've got almost the resources I need for another house. Things are great here. I do need more wood. wood's going to be the tricky one. I've got the stone's always tricky, but I've often find that when I'm focused too much on stone, I forget my wood, which is not a great plan, generally speaking. It's good, but it's not great. Anywho, so they're going to get to work there. And getting into summer now, I'm actually going to slow my game speed down a bit, just because I don't want to get to the point where it's getting into winter and I haven't built anything and I'm doing inefficient things. So I've got the stone for that house pretty much sorted, which means I need the stone for 2 more houses, and I'll need to place down my woodcutter. So yeah, woodcutters are an interesting building. They don't actually need to they don't need to be really anywhere near anything else in your game. I'm going to say that's possibly a good vicious one, but my woodcutter really doesn't need to be near anything else, because he's generally to workplace, so he just needs to have a house near him and somewhere to put his things. So that's somewhere to put his things, somewhere to get things and put things. So I'll actually put him just adjacent to that little stockpile there. And I'm not going to build it yet, but I'm going to drop a little house next to him. Yeah, I'll actually base a couple houses there. So I'll explain my thinking in my actual house placement. So when I place houses, what I work out is how many workers I have. So I'll actually put a few gatherers on, given that's built. So I work out how many workers I need. So there will be 4 gatherers in here. I'll have 2 or 3, maybe more foresters. I'll have 3 hunters. I'll have a herbalist or 2. So there's going to be a good 10 to 12 people here. Meaning I need at least 6 houses and another house for this guy. So I need at least 7 houses. Usually I like to overbuild on houses though, because come later in the game you're going to start having older citizens taking up single occupancy housing, which is really it's an annoying game mechanic, I really have to say, because you have these old useless citizens taking up space and screwing with your optimization for parking. So usually I like to, for every 2 or 3 houses every 2 or 3 houses needed for an occupation, I like to overbuild by 1. So it's about a 1 house per 2 needed, kind of 1 extra house per 2 houses needed. So for these 6 houses I'll need here, I'll probably build another 2 or 3, so maybe up to 9 houses here. For that, I'll probably just put 1, maybe 2, so I can build a blacksmith and some other stuff as well. Which is, it's always fun. I'll output the speed a bit so I can actually get some work done. So, I'll pause the next place. It's getting into late summer, we've already got a couple stone houses going and plenty of food, so we're looking pretty good. I'm happy with how this is progressing. It's great, which is great. This is going well. My labourers, they're bringing in all the rocks, which I'll need for my outfits. My gatherers are keeping my food reserves up. My builders are at work. Everything is beautiful. Although I would like more stone. they could go get that stone up there now. Actually, well, that's another cool tool. Priority tool. It says, "Boy, go get this." That's because the AI is a bit silly sometimes. It doesn't know what it's doing, so it's good to remind it. I like to remind the AI of what actually needs to be done, because if you don't, then it will just go through a rather strange priority order of what it gathers and what it does and how it utilizes its time. Like now, I'm not entirely sure what my workers are doing, but they're not getting that stone I told them to get. which is strange, and sort of hope they should getting their stone. They have actually got that woodcutter up, so that's great. I'm glad to see that they're going to, at least 2 of my families are going to have firewood and homes, but it's getting into autumn, so it'd be great to get homes for all of them. This one's nearly done. That's great. But it's good to have done. Yeah, relatively. Anywho, back. So, sorry, I just had something pop up. My computer was being silly on me. So we're back. We're still building houses. We've got our gatherer. We've got our food. Things are going swimmingly, and it's only autumn. So, yeah, I'm happy with this paper. Might actually go through and get to know some of our families. So we've got Emil Naviera here. They've got Indy. She's going to turn into an adult soon enough. We've got Atticus and Alfredi with their bunch of kids. Before we put Lavars and Indy in a house, they'll be a family soon. So we really do need to start planning on our expansion here, because once everything's expanded and it's cold, let's make those my priority. We need houses, people. We don't want to freeze to death. That would be very sad. Build our houses. Go, my darlings. Let's... that sounded really weird. I'm going to allocate a couple more builders, because otherwise I'll have 2 families freeze. And I don't want 2 of my families freezing this early on. They need wood. Chop. Let's chop that wood. Late autumn already. Oh no. That house is going up, so that should be it. I'm worried, I am. It's getting cold. It's getting cold earlier than it does. You usually wouldn't expect it to snow until winter, but it looks like it's going to be a really cold winter this go around, so... Oh, thank gosh. Get some firewood going. This is going to be close. I hate it when it's this close, but it is what it is. Get some more wood. Get some more wood, quick, my children. Get some wood for that woodcutter so that they aren't freezing. We don't want frozen families. Our houses are up. Everything's good. Now we just need to survive that winter, and we're safe. We're on a roll. We've made it with full stone houses, and we've made it to winter. We've lots of firewood for our people. Everything is great. And I think that's a good point to finish this episode. So, thank you for watching, and we'll see where to go next in part 2 of this Let's Play. And that's Sock signing off.